Hello guys, in today's video we're going to be explaining about multiplication of vectors. Now this is third part of vector series. The first and second part will be linked in the description. I recommend you to watch it before watching this particular video. So without wasting any time, let's get started. So multiplication, as you know, is totally different. Multiplication of vectors, as you know, is totally different than the multiplication of scalars. Why? Because vector is composed of two different things, which is magnitude and direction. Since in vectors you have both magnitude as well as direction, it complicates the multiplication things. So in order to solve that, they have introduced two different types of multiplication in vectors. One is scalar multiplication and the second one is vector multiplication. So the first one is scalar or dot multiplication. Second one is vector or cross multiplication. Let me explain you the fundamentals of these two types of multiplications. In scalar or dot multiplication, when you multiply two vectors, so vector into vector, your answer is going to be a scalar. Whereas in the vector multiplication, if you multiply vector with a vector, you're gonna get a new vector as your answer. So that's why it's called vector multiplication. Whereas in this case, it's called scalar multiplication because the answer which you obtain as a result is scalar. Whereas in this case, it is vector. Now let us see these two different types of multiplications in detail with detailed examples and problems. Okay, now let us deal about scalar multiplication first. So you have scalar multiplication, or dot product. You can also call it as dot product. So suppose you have two vectors. So you have, say, suppose A, this is A vector and this is B vector, and the angle between two vectors is, say, suppose theta. Now dot product between two vectors A and B is defined as, so A vector dot B vector is defined as magnitude of A into magnitude of B into cos of angle between them. I can simply write it as A into B into cos theta. So this is the dot product multiplication of two vectors. So A dot B is equal to magnitude of A into magnitude of B into cos of angle between two of them. Now if you don't know the fundamentals, please go through the part 1 and part 2 because you won't understand without knowing about the fundamentals. So now say suppose A vector is defined as, say suppose ax I cap plus ay j cap plus az k cap, and B vector is defined as, suppose bx I cap by j cap plus bz k cap. Now if the vectors are given in this way, how are you going to find A dot B? Now this is the question might arise in your mind. Okay, let's see how it is done. A vector dot B vector, that's what you're supposed to do. So I'm going to replace AB with these two things. So ax I cap plus ay j cap plus az k cap into bx I cap plus bz j cap plus bz k cap. Now I have replaced A with this, whereas B with this. So I hope it is clear. Now if you have it in this form, how are you going to do the dot product? So that is the question. So the rule of doing it is just you have to multiply the corresponding components. So suppose this is x component, you have to multiply the x components accordingly. So ax into bx, so ax into bx plus ay into by, ay into by plus az into bz. Now this is how you do dot product if it is given in this particular form. So just take that particular components, so ax into bx, ay into by and az into bz, and then multiply them respectively. You're going to get your dot product. Let us see through an example. Say this is suppose I cap plus j cap plus k cap 2 I cap minus 2 j cap plus 3 k cap. Suppose this is the question which is given. Now I'm going to replace the say suppose I'm supposed to find A dot B, so I'm going to replace with this two vectors, which is I cap plus j cap plus k cap dot 2 I cap minus 2 j cap plus 3 k cap. So just multiply their particular components. So this is 1. As you know, if you have nothing, which means it is 1. So 1 into 2, 1 into 2, plus 1 into minus 2. So 1 into minus 2, plus 1 into 3, 1 into 3. And just do the math. So 2 minus 2 plus 3. So these two get cancelled out and your answer is going to be 3. Now this particular method could be used to find the angle between two vectors. You can find the magnitude of this particular vector by using square root of ax square plus bx square, ax square plus ay square plus az square. You can use that thing. For example, so a magnitude of a could be found using root of ax square plus ay square plus az square, whereas magnitude of b could be found using bx square plus by square plus bz square. So this is how you find the magnitude, and this is how you find the dot product. So this particular data could be used to find angle between two vectors. So how? Let me show you how. How are we going to do that? Let me show you that. So using the previous method which I showed you, so you got the answer as 3. Now let us see the angle between those two vectors. So we found a dot b to be as, so a dot b to be as 3 from the previous thing. Now as from the basic definition of scalar dot product, what is a dot b? A dot b is nothing but a magnitude of a into magnitude of b into cos of angle between them. So the question is supposed to find the cos of angle between two of them. So I can, since a dot b is equal to 3, I can write this is equal to 3, which is equal to a dot b. So 3 is equals to, what is magnitude of a? Let us find magnitude of a. So magnitude of a is going to be square root of 1 square plus 1 square plus 1 square, which is root 3. Whereas magnitude of b is going to be 2 square plus 2 square plus 3 square, which is 8 plus 9, which is equal to root of 17. So this is going to be, so 3 equal to a root 3 into root 17 into cos theta. Now this is equal to 3 by root of 17 into 3 is equal to cos theta, or so theta is going to be square root cos inverse of 3 by 51. So this is how you find the angle between two vectors. Okay, now let us discuss the vector or cross product. So again we'll take two vectors. So suppose this is a vector, and this is b vector, and say suppose theta is the angle between two vectors. So cross product between a and b is defined as, so a vector cross b vector, cross because why? So in the scalar product we used to use dot, so that's why we used to call it dot product, whereas here we're going to use cross, so that's why we're going to call it as cross product or vector product, because the outcome is vectors. So a cross b vector is defined as magnitude of a into magnitude of b into sine theta into n cap. Now what is this new thing, n cap? As I told you before, vector product is when you use to get a new vector. So vector into vector, when you multiply, you're going to get a new vector. That's how the fundamentals of cross product is based upon. So this particular part gives the magnitude of the new vector, whereas this particular part gives the direction of the new vector. Now the magnitude you can easily find using easily you can find from the question. What about the direction? How are you going to find the direction? So in order to find the direction, you have a rule called right hand thumb rule. So you have a rule called right hand thumb rule. So what you have to do, suppose your question is a cross b, a cross b. So what you have to do, you have to go to the diagram in which it is associated in, and you have to go in the order of a cross b. So first take your right hand and go towards the first vector, so which is a, and curl your fingers towards the second vector, which is b. So a cross b, and where my thumb is facing, right? So direction of my thumb, which is facing into the board, is the direction of the new vector, which is, say, suppose c. So my new vector direction is going to be into the plane. Now say suppose if I do b into a, now this is going to be like this. So the rule is, right hand thumb rule is, so you start with the first vector, so keep the fingers towards the first vector and curl towards the second vector. So you curl towards the second vector, which is a. So b cross a. Now the thumb is facing out of the board, which is out of the plane. Now in this case, the direction of the new vector is out of the plane. So from this you can also conclude that a cross b is not equal to b cross a, because the direction of the vector is totally different, even though the magnitude is same. So This is the fundamental of vector cross product. Now let us see through an example how we can find the cross product. Okay, suppose you have a vector. So say suppose a vector equal to ax I cap plus ay j cap plus az k cap, and you have b vector as bx I cap plus by j cap plus bz k cap. So how are you going to find the cross product of these two particular vectors? So let us find them. So a vector cos b vector is equal to determinant of. So if you didn't heard about the determinants is just a unique value of matrix. So matrix means it's a horizontal and row combination of numbers, and every particular matrix has unique number associated with it, which is called its determinant. So this is a matrix, and if you put a line like this, it's called determinant. So this matrix is associated with a unique number called the determinant. So that determinant is what your a cross b is going to be. So now let us learn how you can find the determinant using this particular method. So first, what you're going to do, first you have to write I cap, j cap and k cap. So I cap, j cap, k cap. So that's the first rule which you have to write. Then the first vector, which is a, since you have to go with the order, you have a cross b. So first you have to take a vector, which is first vector, which is ax, ay and az corresponding with I, j and k respectively, and you have to list it over here. So ax, ay and az. Then you have to go for the b vector, which is bx, by and bz, because this is the second vector, right? That's why. So you have bx, by and bz. Okay, next what you're going to do is you have to write I cap, j cap, k cap separately, and you have to write brackets over here, and over here. And the sign of this is going to be alternating. So here plus, minus, plus. Remember, this is the rule. This is how the rule goes. So first you have to write I cap, j cap, k cap, and you have to leave some space and write the brackets. And then you have to write the sign, which is plus, minus, plus. So then comes the main rule, which is, so first let us go for the I cap. So I cap, what you have to do, you have to cancel the row and respective column. So respect to row and column, you have to cancel it off. Then you are left with these four particular numbers. So then what you have to do, you have to multiply these two numbers and multiply with these two numbers. So this into this, so ay into bz minus this into this. This is how the rule is. This into this minus this number into this number. So az into by. Next, what you're going to do, you're going to do exactly same for j cap also. Whereas in the case of j cap, so j cap, I'm going to cancel the respect to row and column. So I'll be left with these four particular numbers. I'm going to write them separately: ax, az, bx, bz, and just do the same thing, which is ax into bz, ax into bz minus bx into az. Whereas for the last one, which is k cap, do the exact same thing. So here these two rows and column cancels out, and you're left with these four particular numbers, which is ax, ay, bx and by, and do the same exact thing, which is multiplying these two numbers minus multiplied with these two numbers. So ax into by minus bx into ay. Remember, these two numbers order doesn't matter because of the multiplication rule, whereas these two number order does matter first. So make sure you multiply these two numbers first and subtract with these two numbers. If you reverse the order, the rule is not applied. So this is how you're going to find the determinant of this particular matrix. So let us solve this particular example to have better understanding in this particular determinant method. So you have a vector as your 2 I cap plus 3 j cap plus k cap, whereas b vector as I cap minus j cap plus 2 k cap. So you have to find a cross b. So the only method we know is using determinant method. So now let us find using that particular method. So you have to do first a cross b, which is determinant of which matrix? I cap, j cap, k cap, and then the first vector components comes over here, whereas the second vector components comes in this below space. So you have 2, 3, 1, and you have 1, minus 1 and 2. So the next rule, what you're going to do is you have to write I cap, j cap, k cap, and you're gonna leave some space everywhere. And next what you're going to do, you're going to write the alternating signs, which is plus, minus, plus. Make sure you alternate this. Most of the people, they sometimes write this plus over here, which is a mistake and your answer might go wrong. So make sure you avoid that particular problem. Always plus, minus, plus. Alternating signs. Just remember that. So next, what you're going to do? So you're going to go for the first one, which is I cap. Cancel the corresponding rows and columns. We're left with these four particular numbers, and then apply the operations accordingly. So this number into this number, which is 3 into 2, 6, minus this number into this number. 1 into minus 1 into 1 is minus 1. Whereas for the j cap, these two will be cancelled out. We'll be left with these four numbers. I'm going to write them separately: 2, 1, and 1, 2. So let's cross multiply them. So 2 into 2 is 4, minus 1 into 1, just 1. And then you're left with the last one, which is k cap. Use the black ink. So k cap. So just cancel the corresponding rows and column. You're going to left with these four particular numbers: 2, 3, 1, and minus 1. 2, 3, 1, and minus 1. So just cross multiply them. So 2 into minus 1 is minus 2, and 1 into 3 is minus 3. That's it. And just do the normal math. You're going to get your answer. So 6 into minus of minus 1 is 7. So 7 I cap. Then 4 minus 1 is 3. So minus 3 j cap. And then you have minus 2 into minus 3, which is minus 5. And then plus into minus is minus. So minus 5 k cap. So this is how you're going to do the cross product of two particular vectors. I hope you understood this particular video. If you learned something new, make sure to subscribe to my YouTube channel and hit the notification bar so that you can not miss out any further notifications and updates. And I'll meet you in the next video. Thank you.